Hello everyone. In this module, we are going to learn how to create a date plot in Matplotlib, and the following are the topics that we are going to discuss. Firstly, we will see what is date plot. After that, we will see what it shows. Then we will see syntax and examples related to this. So before I begin, tell me what is one thing that you can't stop? It is time. So, whenever we perform, time passes and we examine many things in relation to date or time. So, we can say that it is widely used to calculate how many days train take to reach at the destination, daily and monthly temperature or a forecast, and even a economic stocks. So, to plot these dates, we need a date plot. Now I tell you what's a date plot is. A date plot is a graph in which the x-axis represents a measure to date and y-axis represent the variable being measured. And the data points are plotted, often connected by the lines, allowing the graph to analyze. So here you can see in the graph, in the x-axis we have dates, on the y-axis we have number of cases, and the data points are plotted with the help of a line. Now we will see what date plot shows. From the graph generated by the plotted points, we can see any trend in the data. And trend is nothing but a long-term change in a definite point. For example, if we see COVID-19 cases in first week of January, then we will see the cases of COVID-19 in third week of January. We can plot a graph between the number of cases and the date of the week. So, with the help of this graph, what we noticed? We noticed the trend of increasing or decreasing of cases from the first week of January to the third week of January. So, I hope now you understand what the date plot shows. So now we will see syntax to create in a Matplotlib. In Matplotlib, to plot a data consisting of a dates, we have a plot underscore date function. And the syntax for this function is matplotlib.pyplot.plot underscore date. And we have the number of parameter. So I will tell you some most used parameter. The first one is x and it will take value in array like. It is nothing but the horizontal coordinate of the data point. And if x data is true, the value of x coordinate is converted as a matplotlib date. The next parameter is y. It will also take value as an array like, and it is a vertical coordinate of a data point. And if y data parameter is true, the value of y coordinate is converted as a matplotlib date. The next one is fmt. It take value as a string and it is used to define color, line style, marker size and etc. And the last parameter is a keyword argument. It is nothing but a line properties. It controls the properties of a returned line. So now we will see examples to clear our concept. So here is our first example. Firstly, I import the necessary libraries. The first one is matplotlib.pyplot as plt. The next one is numpy as np, and I import a datetime library and time delta library from datetime. Next, I change the style of the plot. So to change the style of the plot, you have to call plt dot style dot use, and you have to pass the style which we want to use. After that, I define the data coordinates. Firstly, I define dates. So I create an array and I use the datetime function and define 4 dates. After that, I create a y data coordinate, and to create it, I use a np.arrange function and pass length function with date variable to it. Then to plot a date start, I call a plot underscore date function and pass dates as a x parameter, y raised to power 2 as a y parameter, and I set line style also and change color to red. Then I define labels, and to define it I call x label function and y label function, which shows that x label represent dates and y label represent the cases in lakhs. And then I call the title function to add a title to the plot, so we get to know what this plot represents. So it represents the COVID-19 cases. And in last I call the show function to display the graph. Now I execute this code and here is the output. You can see that on the x-axis it shows the dates, on the y-axis it shows the number of cases in lakhs, and with the help of a line it represents the data points and it uses the circle as a marker. And you can also notice that it changed the style of the plot to seaborn. In the previous examples you can see a plot is plotted with a default plain style. So let's see one more example. So in this I import firstly datetime library by using import datetime. Then I import matplotlib library by calling import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. After that I import drange library from matplotlib.dates library, and then I import numpy library as np. Again I change the style of the plot to seaborn. You can also use another style. Next I define the data coordinates. So here I define variable d1 and d2 using the datetime.datetime function and defines the date. After that I define a variable delta using the datetime.time delta function, which calculates the difference between dates. So I pass value as or is equal to 48. After that I create a variable dates and use drange function of the date module to get the sequence of equally spaced dates. So I pass d1 variable, d2 variable and delta variable to it, and then I create a y coordinate by using the arrange function of numpy and pass length function to it, and to length function I pass dates. Then I create a date plot with multiple lines. So for this, in first case I call plot underscore date function and pass dates as x, and then for y I call y raised to power 2 and I change the line style to dash, and I also add label to it company 1. Then I again call the plot underscore date function and I pass dates as a x. Now in this time I pass y underscore y raised to power 5 as a y parameter, and I pass additional parameter line style and set it to dashed and label and set it to company 2. Then I call the x label and y label function to add labels at the axis. So with this we get to know x label represent the dates and y label represent the profit. So then I call the title function to add a title to the plot. So we get to know what this plot represents. With this we know that it represents the profit earned by the companies. And to show the ligands we call the ligand function as plt.ligand, and in last I call the show function plt.show to display the plot. Now I execute this code and you can see that here x-axis represent the date, y-axis represent the profit. Here we have two labels or a ligands, and on the top of the plot we have title which shows that it is a profit earned, and we can say that with the help of this plot the company second earned more profit as compared to company 1. So with this we can conclude that with the help of a date plot we can see increase or decrease in the trends. For example, in the first case we see increase in the COVID cases, or in the next plot we compare two companies and see increase in the profit of the companies. So with this we complete this topic, and in the next module we will see how to add text in the plot.